About the middle of the festival, Jesus went up into the temple and began to teach. The Jews were astonished at it, saying, "How does this man have such learning, when he has never been taught?" Then Jesus answered them, "My teaching is not mine, but his who sent me. Anyone who resolves to do the will of God will know whether the teaching is from God or whether I am speaking on my own. Those who speak on their own seek their own glory, but the one who seeks the glory of him who sent him is true, and there is nothing false in him." At the start of this reading, we meet Jesus the teacher, the one who chose to teach in the temple halfway through that special festival that marked the gathering in of the harvest. The Jews were astonished at Jesus, who was teaching there in the temple. So there is, for me, this one word that jumps out in this passage above any other. It's not the word temple or teaching or glory or any other word, but the word that really speaks to me as I reflect on this is there at the very beginning. The Jews were astonished. Astonished. That's the word for me. And it's not the only time that we are told that people were astonished by Jesus. Astonishment is a typical reaction to the words and the actions and the ministry of Jesus. For example, we read this in Mark chapter 1. They were astounded at his teaching, for he taught them as one having authority, and not as the scribes. And listen to this. Now when Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were astounded, astonished at his teaching, for he taught them as one having authority, and not as their scribes. Two verses from different Gospels, very, very similar verses, that contain those words astounded or astonished. That astonishment, that reaction of being astonished, was not always a positive thing. For some people you could substitute the word astonishment for anger or irritation, because Jesus' ministry challenged people in all sorts of different ways. Not everybody liked what he had to say. Why was that, I wonder? It was, I think, partly because he was different. He taught in a different kind of way. He had an authority that was captivating, charismatic, enthralling, and attractive all at once. So people were drawn into what he said, to the way that he taught. And what was it that was so different, so distinctive, so attractive about his teaching, I wonder? Was it that he taught and preached with a different kind of authority? And that made some people cross. Whereas the teachers and the Pharisees and the scribes and the rabbis, the teachers of the law, they took their traditions, their authority, very much from the traditions of the Jewish law. A law, a tradition that went back many, many years, centuries indeed. But Jesus offered a different way of teaching, a different way of looking at things, and a different way of seeing the world. Jesus pointed people to the very essence of God without quoting any kind of external authority like the Jewish laws and rules and regulations. His message, his teaching, in fact, came directly from God. His authority was God-given. No wonder many people accused him of blasphemy. They accused him of claiming an authority that was nothing to do with the Jewish laws and traditions. No wonder they were scandalized by him. No wonder they felt threatened and angry and even resentful. No matter. Let's get back to that word, astonishment, that really speaks to me. Okay, some people didn't like him, some people were threatened by him, but many were astonished. Many people were in awe of him, amazed, astounded, astonished. My message, I guess, today is to encourage us all to cultivate a sense of astonishment. Astonishment at the world around us. Astonishment at the ways that we are rallying round each other and supporting each other through these difficult times. Astonishment at the many creative ways that we are being church today. Astonishment at the love and the friendship and the care that is being shared. Astonishment also that God is bringing us through this journey and will bring us out the other side. God has been with us over these recent months and has always been with us from the beginning of time and will always be with us. Let's be open to be astonished at all the wonderful things in our world. And we are right to be astonished, because the God that we worship is an awesome, amazing, mysterious, astounding God. Our response? To be humble in God's presence. Our response? To be silent in God's presence. Our response? To be still. To be still in the presence of an awesome, splendid, amazing, and astonishing God. Astonishing because not only did God create the universe, but God holds us, each one of us, in the palm of his hand. Let us pray. Lord, it's so easy to be cynical. It's so easy to mistrust others, to be pessimistic and suspicious about everything. It's easy and it's understandable. But Lord, instead, give us a spirit of optimism, of hope, of trust, and a willingness to be amazed and surprised and astounded and astonished.
Great is the world he has mercy